Dave Chappelle has just released another Netflix special, and this one takes a much more serious tone. It's titled 8 minutes, 46 seconds. And of course, it's dedicated to George Floyd and calling out the police brutality that many protesters are, protesting against right now in various cities throughout the country. So this special is available to everyone. Even if you don't have Netflix, it was posted on the YouTube page for Netflix called Netflix is a Joke. It's for their comedy content, obviously. But in it, Dave Chappelle calls out all sorts of unsavory, divisive, terrible figures who have either turned a blind eye to racism or, more importantly, have engaged in racism themselves through their commentary. People like Candace Owens, Laura Ingraham. But before we talk about that, I actually wanted to share one portion of his special that really hit me hard. And I'm going to read you what he said verbatim and try to keep it together while I do so. So he's talking about George Floyd, and here's what he said. This man, Derek Chauvin, kneeled on a man's neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds. Can you imagine that? This kid thought he was going to die. He knew he was going to die. He called for his mother. He called for his dead mother. I've only seen that once in my life. My father on his deathbed called for his grandmother. When I watched that tape, I understood this man knew he was going to die. And that was really the part of the video. I mean, the whole video was horrendous and difficult to watch. But when George Floyd was calling for his mother, I couldn't keep it together at all when I heard him calling for his mother, and then just seeing the unbelievable evil in Derek Chauvin, just not caring and just kneeling there and watching him die for nearly 9 minutes. But anyway, it's a powerful special. Yes, there are comedic moments, Cenk, but there's a lot of serious and important commentary as well.
Yeah, look, the great thing about celebrities, although ironically he says celebrities speaking out is not necessary in this special, and he calls out Don Lemon for asking celebrities to speak out. It's ironic because he's a celebrity who's speaking out, and two, it's making a difference because look, that line about George Floyd saying "mama" as he was dying, when we covered it on the first day, we could barely keep it together. When we talked about it. Then Killer Mike, I thought, had the most powerful speech during the Atlanta protests, and he also called that out. But when Dave Chappelle does it, since honestly he's a bigger celebrity than even Killer Mike, people are like, oh my God, that's such a good point. Yeah, he said mama. Oh, that is powerful. So he got people to pay attention to that, and that's right. And the lack of humanity in Chauvin and the other three cops that are standing there to hear that and not have the instinctual reaction we all had. I mean, not just Chappelle and Killer Mike and us, you guys, when you hear that, I would have thought any human being would go, oh my God, he's about to die. I mean, when I saw it on the table, I'm like, he's about to die. You got to get off his neck. You got to get off his neck. And the bystanders are saying that. And the only ones who didn't have that human reaction were the cops. That's just a fact. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. So one other thing that I appreciated about it, and I highly recommend you guys watch the full special. It's so good. We're used to people like us calling out the Laura Ingrahams of the world and the Candace Owens of the world. And I personally have been struggling with seeing individuals in my personal life, old friends, people I've known through school, whatever, posting that disgusting Candace Owens video where she defames and smears George Floyd. And it's been so tough to stomach that because we know the truth, right? I don't think the vast majority of people, if you're not paying close attention to politics, you don't know who Candace Owens is. You don't know that she's a grifter who's literally being paid to say the disgusting things that she says. And so people think oh, here's a Black woman who has her own thoughts on what happened to George Floyd. Let me go ahead and share this. It felt so good to have someone like Dave Chappelle call her out for who she is and what she is, because honestly, I haven't really seen any high profile people do that. you know, she's been able to run her mouth and put out all sorts of defamatory garbage about victims of police brutality and victims in general. And she's only been challenged by people like us. And, you know, for all the applause we get for our platform, the truth is we're not viewed by as many people as Dave Chappelle, clearly. So it's just it's a relief to have someone call her out on such a high level and, you know, basically call her out for what she is.
Yeah, and of course the influencers care about celebrities. So every anchor on CNN cares what Dave Chappelle says, and that's why they have a bigger platform. And it's not necessarily even the viewership by itself; it's the amplification that celebrities bring to things. And so, like it or not, I think they have an extra responsibility. I mean, I go back to Democracy Spring, where we did a protest to get money out of politics. More people got arrested than has ever been arrested in Capitol Hill history doing civil disobedience. Not one media source other than the Young Turks cared. And then Rosario Dawson, who is phenomenal and a wonderful progressive, showed up on the last day, and then all of the media showed up. Oh my God, Rosario Dawson is getting arrested. So that's the shallow world we live in, and it's just the reality. I honestly, the part where Dave Chappelle calls out Candace Owens and Laura Ingraham, in my opinion, was super mediocre. I'm keeping it real.
Really?
Yeah, I think what he said about George Floyd was really powerful. But his calling out of Candace Owens and Laura Ingraham was, yeah, okay. And when we say people like us, I want to be clear. It's not like everyone on Twitter immediately knew when Laura Ingraham, for example, says, shut up and dribble to LeBron James, but at the same time turns around and says, Drew Brees' opinion as an athlete needs to be respected, that's a giant hypocrisy. It didn't take us to figure that out. Everybody figured that out. Dave didn't even mention that, right? He just kind of insulted both of them. I'm glad he did. Right, but it wasn't like some trenchant observation where you're like, oh man, and Chappelle does have that. I mean, he has that in, and that's how he got to be as big as he is, because he's amazing at those observations. In this case, it was just okay, but it had such a great impact, and I want to thank him from the bottom of my heart. I'll give you one depressing note about Candace Owens. My wife got friends and family from as far away as Taiwan and China saying they had seen the Candace Owens video and asking her, oh, it turns out African Americans in America don't like George Floyd and think he's a criminal. I was like, no. The only video they saw from a black person in America was Candace Owens. And that's why they do that propaganda. And that's why it's so harmful and so toxic. So if it takes Dave Chappelle in a set, just in 2 sentences, calling her out to get Don Lemon and everybody else to pay attention, great. I'm super glad he did it, and thank you.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.